We come to you, we come to you with prayerful hearts.
If you hear the sound in the background, it's our kids that we're babysitting right now. They're watching Phineas and
These two
Ferb.
adorable kids. I'm gonna take out my gum because the last video was very crusty looking as I chomped on it, so I apologize for that. Okay.
Where'd you put the gum? It's just kind of in your hand. Shh. Hey everyone, so today we're going to be filming a video on a movie
Welcome back to the warm them up. Stop going straight in.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be filming So we're going to be reviewing a movie, like as we do here. But this movie is a special kind of movie. It's different. It's not like the other movies.
It's a Christian found footage horror film about a demon-possessed porn magazine. And that's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
How'd you find this movie? Because, you know, credit to you. Like, credit to where credit's due.
Like, of course.
You, if anything, like, you authored this movie into existence. Like, you willed it into happening.
No!
Like, this was your creative genius. Like, this
Don't put that on me.
In a way, this is all your fault.
I literally just Googled cringiest Christian movies, and it was on a list on IMDb. There's some wild stuff on there. Like, there's a movie called See Me Dance about a girl who's a ballerina who has the power to convert people to Christianity just by touching them, and they have no choice but to convert. But for some reason, it's not spelled See Me Dance, like S-E-E Me Dance. It's just See Me Dance.
Like, for C as in for, like, Christian.
I didn't even think about that.
Christians are just, like, getting persecuted every day, but, like,
you guys are giving the persecutors a lot to work with.
The Christians are giving them way too much ammo.
You're giving them a lot of content
to
support their thesis.
And then you turn around, you're like, why are we getting persecuted? We're just so innocent. Christian movies, they're their own special breed to begin with.
Yeah.
And this one just kind of like adds a few extra layers onto it.
There's a lot to talk about.
Like, we reviewed Princess Cut a few videos ago, and like this just like, this is like
this transcends
this transcends Princess Cut by like so much more. Like, whoever created this was probably on acid, but they probably weren't, because they like probably came up with this idea in like a church boardroom. And so we should probably just go through like the plot a little bit.
The youth pastor is being interviewed. His name is Pastor Chris.
And it's this 5-minute interview, and it feels like probably 30 minutes of Chris just kind of like ad-libbing the things that happened, the travesty.
Some dark, scary story that happened in this church that we don't know yet. And for some reason, he's not like sitting down. It's not like a normal interview. He's like leaning on a printer.
Some text pops up and it's like, this
the
video.
The following footage is under review by the church board.
Yeah, it's like for the church board eyes only. But we're watching it.
But we watched
it. So then we open on Justin, right? Like, oh, Justin like turns on the camera.
This young guy, he's probably like what, like 16 or 17?
Sure, yeah.
He's wearing a green flannel,
that's
tight
like
jeans.
a little bit too small for him.
His jeans are also a little too small. He has like spiky blonde hair, glasses.
Yeah, and he's just like, he turns on the camera and he sets it in the corner of his bedroom, and then he like opens a magazine.
And you know what it is.
I don't know why he thought he should film that. But then it cuts. He's with his friend. What's his friend's name? Blark? It's Blake.
Blake.
I was so close.
Blake and Nick are the two.
I don't know why I thought Blark was more of a name than Blake. Like, they're similar enough that I should have just like made the connection. So now he like meets up with his friend Blake. Got that. This is like a really hard name for me. Then they go to their other friend's house, Nick, and Blake like flirts with Nick's mom randomly.
Who's like pushing 70.
Well, the first jump scare of the movie is Nick's mom yelling for Nick because the audio
like goes out for a second, so it literally sounds like a blood curdling scream. Nick! It literally like blasted through the apartment, and all of us like jumped and screamed because it was so loud. We'll chop it in here.
You don't have to do that, like I will.
Yeah, but like I like saying that.
So they meet up with the friend, and Blake's like, we're gonna set you up with Jessica.
They're like, Jessica and Nick are gonna kiss tonight. Oh my gosh. He's like, I don't even think she's cute, bro. I don't even like her.
And then like there's this whole long sequence where like they're teasing him, and then
he gets lectured by his parents.
The parents find out, and then the parents pray for him.
Did you kiss her
No, Mom, no. Did you pray about this first?
Yeah.
And then
they're like, is this church gonna have separate gender bathrooms?
So you can tell like all the actors are kind of having a field day. Like they all want to ad-lib something. They all
weren't given a lot of direction.
There wasn't a lot of logic into what was happening.
And there certainly wasn't a script.
So then they're on their way to the lock-in, which is where everything happens. Randomly, they decide to stop at a dumpster.
And dumpster dive, because Justin, like the videographer, apparently like dumpster dives.
Yeah, which is probably how he got all his porn magazines.
That's true. My issue was, this movie came out in 2014. Even at that point, I'm like, if you want to get like sexual media, why are you using it in like physical form?
Which is kind of funny because you wouldn't think dumpsters would even have that anymore because...
Yeah, like who's throwing that away?
This is the
continually?
20th century. So they find this magazine, they're like, magazine.
Okay, and this is what they call it. He's like, bro, it's a dirty mag. And we'll put that clip in here.
You don't have to keep on saying that. Like,
yeah, but I like to be a part of the editing process. And if I say certain stuff, like you have to do what I say.
It's a dirty mag. They are quite the treat. Put it back, Blake.
As a joke, they end up, Blake and Justin put the dirty mag in Nick's backpack. And they're like,
because Nick is very much like, guys, throw this away. Like, this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have this. Like, fine, dude, whatever. And then they like conspire. They're like, let's put it in his backpack. It'll be so funny.
they hide the mag, the dirty mag,
The dirty mag.
in the backpack, and they're off to church.
Yeah.
As one does. And they meet up with Jessica and her friend Genesis. And who are phenomenal actresses, by the way. Like, their performances really make this movie for me.
And they immediately launch into like trying to get Nick and Jessica together.
The youth pastor from the beginning,
Pastor Chris.
we see him and he's like doing announcements, and it's like very full auditorium that you can clearly see.
There's like 9 people.
And everyone's like super excited for the lock-in.
There's gonna be laser tag.
Yeah.
Games, snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's obviously gonna be lit.
It's gonna be LIT. It's
gonna be low-key fire.
So
What's the production company? Is called like Holy Grail Media or something.
I doubt that's a real production
It's like
company.
Holy
I'm
Moly
sure they just
Media.
made that up. The pastor finishes his explanation and his prayer, and obviously Blake isn't taking any of this seriously. He just cares about Jessica and Nick getting together.
He's obviously dealing with like some deep insecurities if he just has to keep like running his mouth.
Exactly.
And he's like harassing his friends.
Exactly. And he's like super quippy. He thinks he's the shit.
He's
so-
trying to be Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool.
That's true.
And he just ends up being more like the worst person you've ever seen in your life. And then the boys get pulled aside.
The allegations have come forth.
Jessica found the dirty mag.
Yeah.
And so
I guess she reported it?
Yeah, she tells the pastor.
She reports it.
And then a very weird interaction ensues where Pastor Chris is like lecturing the boys for having the porn. He makes a really weird comment. He's like, these women, you don't care about them. He's like, that could be my daughter. And they're like, it's not your daughter. He's like, not this time. And we're like,
does he like not have the high
saying
expectations for his daughter? Is that what he's trying
not
to
this
imply?
time. He's like, my daughter's making her rounds.
I think he thought he was really like making a point. He was too busy like ad-libbing, just like being an improvisational genius.
Not this time. He's like, she's getting into the business. Give her time.
It's a hard business to break into.
She hasn't made it mainstream yet, okay? He's like defensive. And so basically he lectures them. He like gears up to like make this big statement about porn. There's this dramatic pause. He goes, you guys, porn is not good. Like genuinely, that's what he said.
So that's how we know that they're really just winging everything.
And also at the beginning when they're initially interviewing him in front of the printer, he's like, I now believe there is a connection between pornography and demon possession. So this is like where they're circling back to that.
So he burns the magazine in front of the dumpster.
But like first he like makes them pray over it and it's like really weird. So they burn it, it's weird. It also takes him like 5 whole minutes to get his lighter to start.
And at first I thought it was a part of the thing. I was like, oh, they can't
It's
like,
not gonna
burn
light
it.
on fire, like the Spiderwick Chronicles type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Babadook. But
But
no,
no.
it literally just took them like 5 whole minutes and they didn't like cut it out for some reason. They burned the dirty mag.
The dirty mag.
And
We're trying to film a video in here!
you guys are fine.
So they unroll their sleeping bags and like, ooh, like let's just like chill and get ready or whatever. And they realize that the magazine is in the sleeping bag. It's in Nick's sleeping bag. And they're like, what? And then like Blake checks the magazine. He's like, it's the same mag. It's the same dirty mag. And they're like, oh, we have to dispose of this, right? So they tried to leave the church, but at that point the doors have been locked because it's
a lock-in.
lock-in.
And
So-
this like middle-aged woman won't let them out.
yeah, she's like, boys, you know the rules. They go to this like creepy hallway where there's like a trash bin that they can like discreetly throw the dirty mag away. And they're like, just bury it in the bottom, just bury it in the bottom. And so they bury the magazine and they start walking away when suddenly they turn around and the trash can is like thrown to the hallway and it's like, it's a demon.
God, like obviously.
So they run and they're freaking out. They're like, bro,
They're running, they're screaming. You have your classic like found
and they're like
footage.
panting a lot, but they
Yeah.
haven't run that much. So one thing I forgot before that point, so there are like security cameras all throughout the church as Pastor Chris
tells them in like the orientation for the lock-in, like, you guys can't go around and make out because we'll see everything you do.
Yeah, on the cameras. And so it shows like footage of the cameras, and it shows the sequence of events. It goes from the door opening, right? So like, okay, this demon has entered. And then a lantern starts swaying randomly. So we're like, okay, I guess the demon's like swaying a lantern. And then he goes into a nursery and like sits in a rocking chair for a few minutes. Like that's the gist we're supposed to get.
He's just like pre-gaming before he like starts.
Exactly. He's just like, I'm gonna scare these pornographic addicted kids. So yeah.
They realize after they start running from the trash can, all the lights in the church go out. They're locked in, they can't get out. It's suddenly night, even though it was like 4 p.m. in the afternoon and totally bright outside. And also everybody else is gone. So the pastor's gone, everybody else from the lock-in is gone. They can't find anybody.
Yeah.
So it's this weird limbo situation. They can't get out of the church.
They waste a lot of time just like freaking out.
There's so much footage.
panting.
People just like breathing heavily.
He's like, what was that?
Running around the church.
What was that? So they go upstairs because like what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because they're just looking for people, and they hear screaming from a closet, and they open the closet, and it's Jessica. And Jessica's like, oh, like everyone was gone, so I just like ran up and hid in this closet, I guess. So now they're all kind of like just like a group, just like wandering around the church in the dark.
People slowly get picked off one by one.
Right, that's the most interesting part. They like randomly keep on falling asleep in different places around the church.
And whenever they wake up, like people are gone.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
it's
very
like
anticlimactic.
Jessica wakes up, she's like, I heard Genesis, her bestie. And she's like, I have to go find Genesis. And they're like, Jessica, no one else heard Genesis. Like, you're obviously just dreaming. Like, and obviously, like, Jessica just gets taken. She gets, like, sucked into a closet.
Is she Genesis?
But, like, we don't see her get sucked into the closet. It's just kind of implied. It, like,
The
cuts.
camera gets like moved to the ground, and then you just see like a foot wiggling in the frame, and everyone's screaming.
And then it's like, where'd Jessica go? And then, like, she's never seen again.
Then Blake disappears in a
Because of another
way.
nap.
Another nap.
Frank, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
And then there's a really funny scene where Nick and Justin are like in this closet together, and they're like screaming at whatever dark entity is haunting them. They're like, leave us alone, get out of here. And they're both like visibly trying not to laugh. And like Justin is pretending to cry, and he's obviously trying so hard to like hold it together and like not laugh.
No one is coming back.
And honestly, that was like the most enjoyable part of the movie, because I was like, aw, like you guys are doing your best. Obviously, Justin falls asleep, wakes up in this maintenance closet. What's his face is now gone.
Nick is
now gone. It's just him. He's the final girl, and you predicted that he would be the final girl.
I did. The
But
guy who holds the
he's
camera.
the guy holding the camera, so I guess that makes.
He is the
I guess
final
that
girl.
like is the kind of the only option. But anyway, he runs around the church. He goes to like their baptism tub they have.
That's like filled with water.
That's like filled with water. He starts like aggressively baptizing himself, but it's kind of not really clear if he gets sucked, like dragged into the pool and is trying to like get out, or if he's like baptizing himself to get rid of the demon. Cause he's like screaming. He's like,
I just assumed he
"Get
was trying
off
to
me."
he was trying to baptize himself like dramatically, like for his Oscar moment to like
That's
to
what you
save
thought,
himself
but
from
the
the
way
demon.
that he doesn't like walk into the pool and start doing that, he like leans near the pool and then like weirdly like lurches in. Like it definitely looked like they were trying to make it look like he got dragged in.
But why would the demon be trying to baptize him?
It's probably trying to drown him. I didn't think the demon was trying to baptize him. So interpret that how you will. That was kind of like a nuanced scene.
Yeah, when he comes out, you like see a figure in the background, but it's like just a person in jeans.
In jeans and like chunky sneakers. I definitely thought it was supposed to be in there, but now I'm convinced it wasn't intentional, because it like they never came back to its purpose.
I think he just like walked in the frame and was like, oh, they're filming.
They awkwardly stepped in the frame and then stepped out. Justin is just screaming. He's like, demon, leave this building. You have no power here.
You have no right to be here.
His performance is solid in these scenes. Like, he's very unhinged. Once he does it for like 10 minutes straight, just wandering around random church buildings, it gets old really fast.
Randomly cuts to the camera
security
footage.
camera.
He looks so pathetic. He's just like walking
He's
around.
just like waddling around like this, holding the camera.
Flee from this place.
It must have been comedic, because like there's no way they thought that was adding to the tension. This guy's coming for the Oscar, like he's giving the performance of a lifetime, and then you see him from behind in the security camera like waddling around with the camera when it's totally silent, and you're just like,
Top 3 moments for sure.
top 3 moments of the movie for sure. And then the big plot twist comes.
All of a sudden, everyone's
lights are
back,
on.
like everyone's fine. They're like, oh, Justin, like you just went away to the bathroom for a few minutes. Pastor Chris is like, now maybe we need to fix that plumbing in the bathroom.
Wait, we forgot an important part.
Wait, what was the important?
You could just, when they're like wandering through the church in the dark, in this one church office, they find a clip. It's from like a counseling session with obviously it's Pastor Chris and like another guy. It's like a guy from the church who's come to him to get like counseling for his porn addiction, and he's just like spilling his heart to Pastor Chris. And there's two funny parts. One part, while he's talking about porn addiction, he just like gestures to himself and he says, I don't know how to beat this.
Well,
and then anyway,
I got it.
It took you a second. The counseling session ends, and the pastor leaves, but the video is still. So the guy's talking about his porn addiction. He's like, yeah, like I'm sensing whenever I watch porn, like I sense like a weird presence in the house. Like I see like objects move, like I see people out of the corner of my eye, like there's just a weird presence.
As people do.
As people do when they watch porn.
Yeah.
So then the pastor leaves, but the video's still recording. The guy's, I'll do exactly what he did. The guy puts his face right in front of the camera like this, and he goes
way to commit.
and it's very obvious.
I'm impressed. Your performance.
Thank you. But it's very obvious that's supposed to like indicate that he's demon possessed, but like the guy just did not give it his all. He just like leaned in front of the camera and was like,
See, this is the great thing about a movie like this, because it's like now everyone just gets to blame all their problems on being like possessed by a demon.
That's really true.
If you really think about it, the moral of the story is
they're
like,
really not
oh,
taking
I'm not addicted to anything. I was just possessed.
So take responsibility for your actions. Don't blame it on demons.
Stop trying to blame things on demons, you guys. Come on, just be chill.
Then back to where we were, they leave the church event. He's like, you guys really didn't remember that? Like everything that happened? They're like, dude, like you must have just fell asleep and had a bad dream. Like just, you need to go to your bed and lay down. So then Justin goes back to his room and he burns the magazine you see him looking at the beginning. He like burns like a whole bag of like porn magazines. Well, you don't even see him burn them. He just puts them in a trash bag.
And I was confused because no one besides Justin had any memory of what had happened in this like alternate demon possession dimension.
Yeah.
And he was trying to convince them in the car ride. I'm like, well, you have it all on camera. Just like show the footage.
Yeah, and like the pastor from the very beginning mentions seeing the footage. Like we know that like it's there, it's palpable, like people can watch it.
So wouldn't they be freaked out like why they don't remember anything that happened? Like I don't know. That kind of ruins that whole like spooky element of like no one remembers but the main character. But obviously I shouldn't be judging this movie because this movie has everything under control. Like it's clearly killing it.
Yeah, like I
departments.
believe Justin.
Yeah, I believe Justin. So
Like we saw it all.
hashtag I believe Justin.
He has the receipts.
He has the receipts. Respect to Justin.
He has an hour and 30 minutes of really extensive receipts.
Panting and
And
gasping.
if you can make it, yeah, if you can wade through it all, you will believe him too.
I don't know.
Hashtag I believe Justin. Can we get that trending on Twitter?
Please.
Comment down below, I believe Justin. Or I don't believe Justin. Start like a aggressive like conversation in the comments. Like
That's true.
we like to start like comment like yeah. Starting to get a little crusty after like 20 to 30 minutes.
I don't really have any more to say.
It's free on YouTube. It's not streaming on anything else, which should indicate its quality.
Just let the work speak for itself. Like we're just vessels. We're just
Vessels.
messengers.
We want to communicate this to you.
We also have to give our shout out from last video.
Yeah.
Shout out goes to Jonathan Overton.
Jonathan Overton, who commented the word utter somehow.
Yeah, talking about Blaine because we forgot to cast Blaine in the
You're
group
right.
video.
Somebody else mentioned that we forgot to cast Jesse St. James as well.
Yeah, but
And some
he was more of a
people
minor
say
character.
you look like him.
He was more of a minor.
So we should have
character.
remembered him.
So we're casting me as Jesse St. James.
Yeah.
Okay. Rachel. That's all he does throughout the whole show. Rachel. Sorry.
Anyways, we love you guys.
We think you're kind of cool. Like, we don't really know you.
We respect you for watching our video.
So, we love the fact that you watched the video. I don't know about, like, you as a person. You could have done some horrible things.
Yeah,
So,
we cannot attest for your characters.
so we might...
We want to make it very clear we're not associating with you.
But you're associating with us, right?
Yes, and please like and subscribe because I've recently been watching a lot of Love Island and it's really annoying
There's a
to
lot
have
of
it chopped up
ads.
with those
There's
ads.
so many ads. So like,
So
subscribe.
if you give a frick,
Okay.
catch you next time.
Catch you next time.
All right, thanks for filming the video with me, man.
Yeah, of course. It was good, I guess.
Okay.
That was so good.
Twerk.
Okay, bye.
Hey, John, let's make out really loudly in our room.
I'm putting that in the video.
We're definitely keeping that in.